This year's elections for Labour's National Executive Committee give us all a chance to send a clear message to the MPs, the officials and the leadership that Labour needs to put full-blooded socialist policies right to the top of the agenda. That's what I'm standing for, along with the other comrades on the Labour Left Alliance slate. I know, and we all know, that that's what's needed. But the biggest possible risk threatening the chances of a clear call from the membership is the widespread confusion that exists about the new voting system.
Fellow members are quite understandably afraid that by putting their real preferences first, they might risk splitting the left vote and letting right-wingers in by default.
But the fact is, under the new voting system, it is impossible to split your vote. The clue is in the name. It's your single, transferable vote. In other words, you have the perfect freedom to put any candidate you like as your first preference. If he or she wins, that's fine. If not, your vote will be transferred to your next preference, and so on down the line.
The 9 candidates that get the most votes after all eliminations and vote transfers will be elected. But after so many eliminations, and there will be more than 30 eliminations if there are 42 candidates on the ballot, those votes can come from first preferences, 10th, 20th, or even 30th preferences. You are not restricted to just 9 choices, as some seem to suggest. You have the right to rank all the candidates in your preferred order, right from top to bottom. The LLA recommends, of course, that you rank the LLA 6 highest, but importantly, we encourage voters to rank as many left-wing candidates as possible, so that their vote will continue to transfer if necessary and avoid it being wasted.
Under the old first-past-the-post system, you could waste your vote by opting for a candidate who then doesn't win, and that often happened. But under this STV system, the only way to waste your vote is by not ranking enough candidates, and so that your vote cannot keep transferring if necessary, or by not ranking your preferred candidates highest, making it more likely that they will be eliminated.
STV actually allows voters to rank those candidates the highest who most closely agree with their political principles, without any danger of splitting the left vote, as some keep suggesting. For example, myself and the other 5 candidates supported by the Labour Left Alliance are standing on a socialist platform and in open opposition to the witch hunt against the left.
It is not best to rank only 6 or 9 candidates. The opposite is the case. If you don't rank enough left-wing candidates, you may waste your vote and therefore increase the share of the vote for the right wing. If you rank only a small number of candidates and they are all eliminated, because you haven't ranked any further preferences, then your vote will become exhausted, which means it's wasted because it can't transfer to anybody else. If you rank only 6 candidates and they all get elected, but without requiring your vote, then in the same way, your vote is wasted because it can't transfer to somebody else that might need it.
The good thing about STV is that you can vote for as many left-wing candidates as you want on all the left-wing slates, and you still don't split the left vote.
We say, let's try and get some candidates elected who will campaign to become a vocal and fighting opposition by ranking the LLA 6 highest. If none of the LLA 6 get in, at least the vote will transfer to some other left-wingers, because the LLA is heavily promoting the correct message to rank as many left candidates as possible, including the CLGA 6.
That's unfortunately a little bit pointless unless we've convinced you that the LLA 6 are not quite as good as the CLGA 6. So if you want to support Roger Silverman, Carol Taylor-Spedding and the rest of the LLA 6, then you have to rank them highest.
This is false. Transferred votes do not reduce in value. Say, for example, 20 voters rank the same first and second preferences, and there are 10 votes required for election. Preference 1 is elected with 10 votes and there are 10 surplus votes. Because everybody ranks the same second preference, Preference 2 receives all 10 surplus votes and is elected. No votes reducing value.
And what if 20 voters rank the same first preference, say Jackie, but 10 rank their next preference for John and 10 rank their next preference for Jane? And the first preference, Jackie, is still elected with the 10 votes, and there's still 10 surplus votes, 5 for John, 5 for Jane. Just because the number of second preferences are divided by 2 does not mean that they lose any value.
Don't settle for second best. Vote according to your convictions. Send a clear message. Let's put socialism back on the agenda. Vote Socialist, vote Labour left.